Meantime, in the slave huts of Egypt, the Hebrews are crying out to God to help them. Go into the wilderness. While Aaron, the brother of Moses, is praying, God speaks to him. Go into the wilderness to meet Moses. Aaron is surprised at the strange command, but unlike Moses, he obeys without complaint. He heads out alone into the wilderness. Aaron eventually winds up on Mount Sinai, and Moses is waiting for him. Quickly, Moses explains that God has called them to lead the Hebrews out of slavery in Egypt. They travel together to talk to the elders of Israel in Egypt. Moses performs the miracles God gave him, and the elders believe. The next day. You do all the talking, right, Aaron? I'm just here for moral support. You're the one who knows Egyptian politics. There he brings God's message. The Lord God of Israel sent me to tell you this. Let my people go. They can worship me in the desert.
Never!
Don't have your silent play.
It's a silent play.
How is it silent?
You're all laughing though.
Yeah.
I don't know your Lord, and I certainly don't have to obey him. Now get back to work. You lazy slaves think you can tell me what to do? I'll show you who's boss. New orders from Pharaoh. We have coddled you too much. From now on, we won't be providing you with straws to make your bricks. You'll have to cut your own from the fields. And you must still make 50 bricks a day each. This is all the straw I could find. Why aren't you meeting your quota, you lazy Hebrews? You didn't make enough bricks yesterday either. The Hebrew leaders complained to Moses. May God punish you for this. You have made us loathsome to Pharaoh, and now he's trying to kill us all. I'm only doing what God told me to do. The Israelites no longer believe Moses, and when he complains to God, God only tells him to visit Pharaoh again. Though Moses is sure Pharaoh will not listen to him, he obeys. Have you come back to beg for mercy? No, but to show you the power of God. Aaron throws his staff to the ground where it is transformed into a serpent. Very clever, but my magicians can do the same thing. See? But while Pharaoh watches, the serpent of Aaron swallows the serpents of the Egyptian magicians. Though disappointed, Pharaoh refuses to admit that Moses' God is more powerful than the gods of Egypt. Again, Moses asks for God's help, and again God tells him what to do. In the morning, Moses and Aaron meet Pharaoh on the bank of the Nile River. At Moses' command, Aaron strikes the water with his rod, and the water turns red. But my sorcerers can do the same thing. If they're such great sorcerers, why don't they turn the Nile back into water? But they cannot do it, and the Nile remains blood for 7 days. The Egyptian women are unable to wash their clothes in the bloody river. Men have to dig wells to find drinking water, and finally the river is clear again. But still Pharaoh will not listen to Moses' plea, and so God sends a different plague. In the streets of the city, frogs everywhere, and in Egyptian homes, even in the palace. Ask your God to take away the frogs, and I will let the Hebrews go. It will be as you say. But when the frogs are gone, Pharaoh breaks his promise, so God proceeds with his next wonder. God torments the Egyptians with a plague of gnats. They infest everything. The Egyptians can't get them out of their houses, their hair, even their beds. Pharaoh tries to bargain with Moses, but Moses stands firm in his request. Once again, Pharaoh promises to free the Hebrews, but when the gnats are gone, he hardens his heart again. As if the gnats weren't bad enough, God pours out the plague of flies. Flies are in everything. The Egyptians can't keep them off their food or off their faces, but no flies trouble the Hebrews in Goshen. But like before, Pharaoh changes his mind, and God sends disease upon the Egyptians, animals and livestock. Many of them die, but Pharaoh's heart is unyielding. God gives Moses his next instructions. He and Aaron interrupt Pharaoh's court and throw soot in the air. Immediately, Pharaoh and his advisors break out in painful sores and boils. The rest of Egypt is struck with the same disease as well, but Pharaoh stubbornly refuses to recognize God's power and authority. Father, why were the slave drivers so cruel today? They are always cruel, son, but right now they are angry to be suffering from terrible boils while we remain healthy and strong. Still, Pharaoh keeps the Hebrews in Egypt, so a terrible storm strikes. Hailstones as big as my fist Throughout the land, the Egyptian farmers watched the storm with terror. Our crops are ruined, but no hail falls in Goshen where the Hebrews live. Pharaoh calls Moses to him. I have sinned, the Lord is right, and I am wrong. Pray to the Lord for us. We have had enough of the hail, and I will let you go. But just like every other time, once the plague is lifted, Pharaoh changes his mind. How long will you refuse to humble yourself? Let my people go, or I will send locusts to destroy everything that's left alive in this land. Pharaoh's advisors agree with Moses. Begrudgingly, Pharaoh calls Moses back to him. Fine, go worship your Lord. Who are you planning on taking? We will take our young and old, our sons and daughters, our flocks and herds. No, just the men, locusts it is. God sends locusts which devour anything that wasn't destroyed by the hailstorm. Then when Pharaoh's heart remains hardened against the Israelites, God makes the day as dark as night. After 3 days of darkness, Pharaoh calls for Moses and Aaron again. Fine, you may take your women and children, but your sheep and cattle must remain in Egypt. No, we won't leave a single hoof behind when we go. Then you'll all stay right here where you are. Get out of my sight. If I see your face again, you will die. But Moses is no longer afraid of Pharaoh. That's what you say. Here's what the Lord says. Tonight every firstborn son in Egypt will die, including yours. O Pharaoh, you will know grief worse than any Egypt has ever experienced. And then you will come to me on your hands and knees, and you will beg for my mercy. Quickly Moses calls for a meeting of the Hebrew leaders. Moses instructs the Hebrews on how to protect their families.
She's hiding her pink.
No. What's wrong with it?
Accident.
Why are you using lamb's blood on our doorposts? God told Moses it would be a sign to let the angel of death know to pass over our house. That evening, every Hebrew family packed all of their possessions, hoping that they would finally be able to leave Egypt. They ate the meal called the Passover because the angel of death would pass over us. Okay, Moses gives the order to march. Immediately, the slaves rush out from their homes and meet at a camp in the country. We're free, we're free. The next day, the great exodus from Egypt is underway. Joyfully, the Hebrews march toward the land God promised would be their home. During the day, a bright cloud guides them, and at night, a pillar of fire leads them. But in their rush for freedom, they do not forget to take with them the body of their ancestor Joseph. He was a great man in Egypt, but he wanted to be buried in his own land. After several days of travel, the Hebrews reach the Red Sea. Pharaoh's army soon approaches the camp of the Hebrews. Meanwhile, back in Pharaoh's palace,